Good morning. This is Mark Sebastian, founder of OptionPit.com, with your AM volatility report. Well, quite the week last week, and it looks like we're starting off with a bang today. So more action, more trading. We opened pre-market up 30 in the futures. We opened up with the VIX down over 1.5%. We opened with the market up 20. And now we're looking at a market where 20 minutes into the day, the S&P wants to go flat, the Russell is down, and the VIX is up. You've got the NASDAQ now threatening to break even. You get the Dow only up 0.4%. The whole market vol is higher. Futures are now flat after getting a little pasted after the bell. And, the trends have been for things to soften up. It has not necessarily stuck. All right, we saw things soften up early last week and then rebound. But then again, if you look at Wednesday and Friday, on both days we kind of opened up down and sold off. And on Thursday, the only real huge update we've seen close, we saw VIX open up down. We saw the market open up down and then soften. So for kind of this odd change of pace that we're going through right now, we are in a kind of a no man's land and unusual territory. So the question is, does it stick? My inclination is that there's a decent chance that we could go negative, but we could just as easily turn around. What I will say is that coming out of the weekend, volatility is a lot firmer than it was last week. The VIX is hanging around 27 after threatening 30. Friday was really ugly. We had an intraday breakage of the low close from August, but not a close there. So a lot of people still think there's real potential, myself included, for the market to soften up. If you look at kind of how we moved on Friday, we hit a low of 1857. I think we could see a settle below 1850 before all is said and done. I don't think we're out of the water. I do think there's a little more volatility. I'd also like to see the VIX get over 30 for a day. Show some real signs of panic. Now, that said, there's just as good a chance that we get a little bit of a relief rally here. If you look at the sell-off that we've had since December 30th, it's been straight down. We've had really one green candle, three itty-bitty ones, and one big one, and a lot of ugliness. And meanwhile, volatility and realized volatility has been really ramping higher. So we're seeing a big increase in movement and not a huge pop in volatility. 10-day realized vol is still above implied. So, China GDP is out, but oil's getting smashed. And that's kind of what continues to be the problem. They're now, we just don't know. It's hard to be predictive. My gut says that we could turn this around and rally on the day. But I feel like we could just as easily pull a huge tank job. And don't be surprised if we go red and then get a little rally into the European close, it could mean an ugly afternoon. The European close has been counter the overall market the last couple of days, or actually the last couple of weeks. So as it stands here, if we start breaking down to only up 4 or 5 again, and VIX goes really green on the day, get out of the way. As it stands right now, I covered my kind of long market exposure on the open in what I do because I don't trust this market to hold any rally, and there's plenty of reasons to sell into it. Where is there some strength? Well, if you look around, there's some strength floating around. You've got Apple up a little bit, not a lot, and Amazon up nicely after getting beaten around. Facebook showing some strength, and Google. So some of the quote-unquote FANG stocks are doing well, but outside of that, Transpose is really Transpose and financials, but even those don't look that great after another good set of earnings this morning from Morgan Stanley. All right, folks. I want to remind everybody coming up this weekend, if you go to our events page, on Saturday, another 4-hour class, the best course for learning to adjust options and to manage risk. It's going to be a really great course. Andrew and I have already kind of discussed the content. It's going to be pretty awesome. Starting at 9:30 Eastern Time on Saturday till about 1:30 Eastern Time. So a nice 4-hour block. We're going to cover adjusting positions, managing risk, and managing portfolio. Go to optionpit.com/risk to sign up. That is also where you can see a replay of Principles of Trade and Risk Management, which was my most recent free webinar I did on the month. Just go to optionpit.com/risk. All right, folks. On that note, I hope everybody has a great day and a great week. And if you got questions, you can email me, mark@optionpit.com. You can call me 888-TRADE-01. And just as a reminder, this was for education purposes only. None of this should be construed as investment advice. Have a great day.